Hey, this is Chris at Ravenscroft Tie-Dye. Today we're going to go through how to fold and dye a 6-color rainbow stripe V-stripe t-shirt. I'm using a Gildan V-neck. It's been soaked in soda ash. I've got it laid out flat. It's pretty dry. You want these kind of a little on the dry side when you wring them out because they can stick to your table. And this type of fold does not appreciate that at all. So what I do is I fold the shirt in half, and with the V-neck on this particular style, I like to just make sure that the center of that V-neck got right along the crease, and it did. So we're good there. The next thing you want to do is we're going to fan fold this all the way down. So first we're going to set the angle, and I do that by starting on the sleeve side of the shirt and running my angle to roughly right across from the, where the armpit area is. The less of an angle you put here, the more of an angle the V-stripe will be on the finished shirt. The deeper the angle you put here, the less of an angle it will be. So if you have a shallow angle here, you're going to get a deeper V that comes down further, and if you have a steeper angle, you're going to get like a more shallow chevron type of a shape. So I'm just going to put it somewhere in there, I don't know, and I strike a line. This part isn't necessary when you're starting out. It's a good idea, but once you get the hang of it, not so necessary. So I'm just going to put 3 guidelines here. Make sure they are perpendicular, a 90-degree angle, to the original line that set the angle. And then I just start pleating. I start right on that first line that I made, and I pull up, get it somewhere between about 1/4 and 1/2 inch. Just get that up there. Make sure it's nice and even. Give yourself a good even line to start with. And then the easiest way to do this to start off at first is a ruler. This ruler has a sharp metal edge on it, and you can just place it on the shirt and push forward, and it will pull some of that material up for you, so you can pull up on it and kind of just nuzzle it up to the pleat, to the other pleat. Let's try to do it this way, maybe get a better view on that. Just see it made a little piece there, and then you just pull it up. That was actually a little deep, so I'm going to pull it back and cut it down a little bit. Ta-da! Alright, there we go. You can go all the way down like that, just boom, 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 boom. Or you can just pull out on the ends, and it will pop right up. If the table is too wet or the shirt is too wet, it might not do this so easily. And make sure you're pinching through all the layers of the shirt when you make these pleats. Otherwise, the top layer gets, as you can see, this one's starting to go. The top sleeve is starting to pull away from the other one. So, a little bit of that's fine, but you certainly don't want to get to the end of the shirt and have 1.5 feet of extra material that didn't fold into it. Okay, and here we go. Pull. Another way to do it, you can also just push the shirt forward a little bit. The guidelines should be straight. Sometimes you get a little bit of a staircase effect on them. That's good. That works too. Not real, like everything else in tie-dye, we're not really fussy about exactly getting it right. Alright, so I don't know if you can see that line. It's not exactly straight, but it will work just fine. There we go. And I use number 16 elastics where the material is thinner. The first elastic you put on, if you kind of look into where the bottom of that V-neck is, and put the elastic right underneath it, then your first color will come down to a point right under the V-neck, or even with the V-neck. The further down the shirt you put that elastic, the further down, so you can, if you put it down here, you get that first color to come all the way down to a nice deep, like a bib, deep V. So I will put that. I'm using a nice tight brand new number 16 elastics here. They should not, these shirts are kind of fussy. Red, orange, yellow. I like to make my yellow a little bigger sometimes. Green. You can do this in even spacing or vary the spacing. Blue. Depending on the shirt, where it gets a little wider, the places, you can go to the number 19 elastic. Because the really tight elastics, the tighter these elastics are, the harder it can be to get the dye to sink into them with this particular design. And it can get messy, so you don't want the shirt, for instance, so tight that it feels hard to pull at it and separate it, you know, so you can get it and get those elastics to pull just a little bit, but they snap right back too. So that's good. You'll just, a lot of this you can't teach. The only way to figure it out is to do it and do it. So, alright, so we got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, red, orange, yellow, green. And now we got, there we go. That's what it looks like, all elasticed up. If you used a different angle, this shape here it might be fatter and shorter, or you know, longer and skinnier. But as long as you got it, looks neat, and you know, like it's not a mess and it holds its shape, then you've probably done something right. All right, now we're gonna go turn around and hit the dye table, dye sink.